The Sacred Heart Athletic Club has established the Hall of Fame in an effort to recognize great contributions of athletes and individuals to Sacred Heart athletics on and off the field of play. Our latest inductees join the standouts who have already been recognized and whose names are found on the banners displayed in the Mirth Gymnasium. The Hall of Fame includes honorees for each decade, from the 1930s to the present, covering over 80 years of athletic history at Sacred Heart School. Included in the ranks of the 62 members are individuals, teams, and area businesses. As we induct Eagle standouts of the past, we hope that they will serve as role models and inspiration to Sacred Heart athletes of the 21st century as they work to attain and achieve the same success and honor on the field of play and in life. Darcy Roach was a successful multi-sport athlete here at Sacred Heart, participating in volleyball, basketball, and softball. In her junior year, she was diagnosed with a spinal cord condition which threatened the remainder of her sports career. Surgery was performed, and with the grace of God and talented surgeons, she recovered, rehabbed, and returned for the 2008-2009 volleyball and softball seasons. That year, Darcy shattered every existing pitching record. She had 240 strikeouts in one season, had a single-season ERA of .78, had 698 career strikeouts, 8 career no-hitters, and a career ERA of 1.33, along with 55 career wins. Dominating hitters was a way of life for Darcy. As a sophomore, she had 15 strikeouts in a 5-inning shortened game versus Red Lake Falls. That means she struck everybody out. As a sophomore, she pitched an unbelievable 11-inning perfect game against crosstown rival East Grand Forks in a 1-0 victory. It is an all-time Minnesota state record that still stands today. She led the Eagles to 2 state softball tournaments in 2007 and 2009. In 2009, the Eagles finished 3rd at the state tournament, the highest finish in the history of Sacred Heart athletics and the best overall record at the time of 24-3. She dominated at state and was named to the Class A state all-tournament team and was voted All-State Class A her senior year. She topped off her senior year as an honor student and made the academic All-State Class A team. Darcy went on to play softball at St. Scholastica. Her junior year was a breakout year, as she was a conference leader in innings pitched with 19 victories and 157 strikeouts. She was twice named as member of the first team UMAC All-Conference, the All-Academic team, and in her senior year received the UMAC Conference Sportsmanship Award, as well as the National Fast Pitch Association Scholar Athlete of the Year Award. When it was all said and done, Darcy led her team to 3 conference tournament championships and 2 appearances in the NCAA postseason tournament. After graduation, Darcy went on to grad school and was the assistant coach at St. Scholastica for the next 2 years. With a bachelor's in health sciences and a master's in athletic training, Darcy now works in Minnesota as an athletic trainer and clinical assistant for an orthopedic surgeon.
Truly realize that Sacred Heart is a very special place, a lot of very special people. I'm so blessed to have grown up with this community. I can't imagine my life not being at Sacred Heart.
Darcy was a big part of the success of the Sacred Heart softball program, which was the dominant program in the region for many years. For a coach, Darcy was a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. Darcy, the Sacred Heart community is proud of you and your accomplishments here at Sacred Heart and at St. Scholastica. It is with great joy that we welcome you to the Sacred Heart Athletic Hall of Fame. Sister Rosalia Fink, also known as Caroline Fink, grew up in Mahnomen and after high school entered Mount St. Benedict's in Crookston. After making her final vows, Sister attended various post-secondary schools, earning a bachelor's in elementary education with a major in mathematics. In 1949, Sister Rosalia started her teaching career here at Sacred Heart as a 4th grade teacher. She left in 1952, just as the brand new high school was being completed. Sister moved to Asherton, Texas, where she taught and was a high school principal. She returned to Sacred Heart in 1970 at the request of Monsignor Mirth. Sister's duties consisted of teaching classes in typewriting, accounting, and business law. She also directed and advised the cheerleaders and pom-pom girls in support of Sacred Heart athletics. She directed a spirit group for the Sacred Heart athletic teams by arranging, organizing, and chaperoning pep buses to out-of-town games. She rode hundreds of pep buses to games over the years. While teaching at Sacred Heart, she also received a certificate as one of America's outstanding educators, chosen on the basis of professional and civic achievements, and was featured in the 1970 edition of Outstanding Educators in America. In 1984, she left Sacred Heart to become the business manager at Mount St. Benedict in Crookston. Sister again heard the call of the Lord in 1990 and moved back to Texas, where she joined the staff of a large nonprofit community action of South Texas. There, in Rio Grande City, she found her true passion as she worked with families suffering from domestic abuse. Her experiences there shaped the direction of her life and a desire to start a nonprofit shelter for families. When plans fell through in 2006, she returned to Crookston. Feeling restless in 2010, she again answered the call to care for the abused and made another trip to Texas. She worked with Sister Janine Spain, a 1948 graduate of Sacred Heart, and set the wheels in motion for a nonprofit called South Texas Empowerment of Women Center, which served as transitional housing for women that were suffering from domestic abuse. Believing that their center could be more than transitional housing, Sister and her staff worked to go a step further to make it a shelter for abused women. A letter from the state of Texas, including Senate Resolution 75, recognized their exceptional work and was proof that the state was supportive of this worthy project. The funds were obtained, and with the help of various community members, construction of the first building was completed in 2014. The shelter served 4 families at a time and served at least 90 families that first year. When Sister was confident that the nonprofit was running properly, she returned to Crookston, where she now resides.
And so this is a great honor to me to be able to say, yes, I taught school at Sacred Heart, but I also lived at Sacred Heart.
Sister Rosalia, you were not an athlete, but you worked hard and tirelessly in the background to help students celebrate and create a family experience here at Sacred Heart. You also went out to evangelize, again, working in the background, and developed a passion for God's most vulnerable in Texas. For your 70 years of service to Sacred Heart and God's family in Texas, we, as a Sacred Heart community, proudly bring you from the background to the foreground to display to our young people and community a model of what it is to serve. Sister Rosalia Fink, we proudly welcome you to the Sacred Heart Athletic Hall of Fame. Craig Pietruszewski, a 1979 graduate, was involved in football and basketball. In football, Craig played key roles for the 1977 and 1978 Hall of Fame teams, which are considered by some to be the top teams in Sacred Heart history. The 1977 Sacred Heart football team was completely undefeated, but missed the state playoffs, coming up short in a then computer-generated points ranking system. The Eagles came back with a fury in the 1978 season, once again finishing undefeated. His receiving skills gave the Eagles an added dimension in a run-oriented offense, where opponents put as many as 9 players on the line. He also led the team in interceptions and handled the kicking duties. Over those 2 years, the Eagles ran an impressive, undefeated record before having their winning streak snapped in a quarterfinal Class C state tournament playoff game against the number 1 ranked Battle Lake. Craig's athleticism was evident in his vertical jump, quickness, speed, and tenacity on the court and on the field. He dominated the basketball court, at one point averaging nearly 20 points per game. He led the Eagles in scoring and rebounding, and was named to the All-City and All-Conference teams in both football and basketball his senior year. After high school, Craig played at Northland Community and Technical College, and lettered his freshman year in both basketball and football. His team shared the conference title in 1980, were division champions, and placed third at the junior college state tournament that year. As important as Craig's contributions to Sacred Heart athletics as a student athlete, Craig has served the Sacred Heart community in gratitude long after his high school career ended. His 2 children attended and graduated from Sacred Heart.
And when my kids started going to school and started participating in sports, coaching was just something that I was sort of naturally drawn to.
Having assisted since 2008, he was promoted to head baseball coach from 2011 to 2013, and in 2012 was named the Diamond Conference Coach of the Year after the Eagles finished with an impressive 18-7 record. With changing job demands, Craig left the head coach position in 2013, but still remains as a volunteer assistant. This year, he helped the 2018 Eagles baseball team reach the state Class A tournament. Craig supports Eagle basketball teams as a past assistant coach and now as an announcer at varsity basketball games. Having served as a development board member, Craig and his wife Jackie, also a 1979 grad, together have served the Sacred Heart community as Spring Fling Committee chairs, Centennial co-chairs, have helped with Lenten fish fries, and are active in parish ministry. He, along with family, have established scholarship funds to help future students to attend Sacred Heart School.
And so over the years we talked so much about how each generation takes its turn. And so for me it was just, and my wife, it's just simple, it was our turn. We were back, there was no doubt we were going to get involved.
Craig has been much more than a contributor to athletics here at Sacred Heart School. His ongoing commitment to the Sacred Heart community are evident in his gratitude and desire to give back to present-day students and to the future of this school. Craig, you are a great servant of Sacred Heart. It is our honor to welcome you to the Sacred Heart Athletic Hall of Fame. We are grateful to our newest inductees who have contributed so much to excellence here and beyond Sacred Heart School. Congratulations to Darcy Roach, Sister Rosalia Fink, and Craig Pietruszewski on your accomplishments. Welcome to the Sacred Heart Athletic Hall of Fame.